All right, today, what's up? Everybody, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's also Worldwide Wednesday. Can't wait for that. Today is Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. Welcome to episode number 318 of the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Dozier, and over the next 45 minutes, me, Kenneth Ruff, Aaron Lancaster, Harish, CatGPT, Shane Himes, Andrew Nakamura, and so many more, Marcus Seiler, are going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news of the day. And I'll be giving my opinion and analysis on each of those stories, on what it means to you as a practitioner, maybe some bigger picture stuff, things that you should know about. If you're new here, there's going to be a lot of value. Yes, practitioners, we need to stay abreast of what is going on in the industry. But if you're looking to get in the industry, one of the best ways to really lean in is to just get caught up on what's going on regularly, because you're going to start seeing patterns. Before we dig into the news stories, before we get crazy and go around the world, which I'm very excited about, my favorite day of the week, I want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsor, starting with my good friend Eric Taylor and the whole team at Barricade Cyber Solutions. Saw Casually Joseph dipping his toes in the LinkedIn waters. Nice job, Casually Joseph. Listen, guys, Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. This is their website if you're watching on stream right now. And this right here, this is the gold. This is Eric Taylor's calendar. With just 2 clicks, you can be on his calendar and having a conversation with him. Don't think like, oh, this isn't for me. Like, guys, if you don't have a plan for if you get punched in the mouth, when it happens, you will need help. I promise you. Any incident of significance, you're going to need help. That's why every story you read, they're like, oh, they called in an IR firm. Yeah, because that's the protocol. That's the playbook. Also want to say shout out and welcome to the stream sponsor party, Panoptcy. Brandon Poole from the great state of South Carolina and his team over at Panoptcy. They do a lot of different things, but one thing that he wanted me to let you guys know is that they do quantified risk assessments for businesses of any size, public, private, industry, doesn't matter. Quantified risk assessments is how you can do a first step to plan your strategic vision on where you need to allocate resources, what controls would provide the most value, what is the return on investment. Guys, I know I love tech and cyber, but the business, they speak in money. So if you can use quantified risk assessments to speak their language and explain why giving you $248,000 is going to help reduce risk by 17.3%, maybe that's something worth, worth sharing. Remember, go to panoptcy.com to get more information. Links in the description below. I will also drop a link in chat. All right. Now, remember, each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is over 30 minutes long, and it is it's instructor-led webinar as far as I'm concerned. Yes, I'll off it into a podcast, but it's an instructor-led webinar. I'm running a briefing up here, people, so it's worth half a CPE. Be sure to say what's up in chat, #TeamLive. If you are live, love it. I see us cresting the triple-digit mark just as we are getting into it. 100 people. That number in the bottom corner is active viewers at this time. Thank you all for being here. If you're on Team Replay, #Team Replay in chat. In the comments. I always love seeing your comments. I love reading them. Chris Weaver has been a regular on the Team Replay, and so many others. I appreciate it. I'm always dropping the little heart emotes on the Team Replay comments. Also, #Team Hybrid, the few of you who get here late and catch up to us at Team Live, welcome to the party. And finally, shout out to #Passive Observer, aka people that kind of lurk and don't know how to, they're here but they don't say anything. If you're doing that because you're nervous or don't feel like you fit in, or you feel like an imposter, no, you're completely welcome here. You're completely part of this community. Say #Passive Observer. If you say just one thing, let us know. I've seen people coming out of their shells, reaching out, connecting on the network, over on LinkedIn with their hashtag passive observer. So we are doing good work, people. We're helping those who are a little bit shy, and I'm very proud of that. All right, guys. We got, looks like about 2 minutes. Here, let me bump this sucker back. Guys, what we do every single Wednesday, if you did not know this, oh, I forgot to, hold on one second. ACI Learning does present around the world, and I forgot to pin the chat because I'm running I'm running a one-man show over here, so certain things kind of fall. All right, I just pinned a chat comment or whatever it is we call it. 30% off IT Pro from ACI Learning. You can get bingeable content from them. Let me drop their little logo up and let me say what's going on with this. Doink! There it is in the middle of the screen. Worldwide Wednesday is presented by IT Pro TV, now IT Pro from ACI Learning, the international online training solution that professionals in audit, cybersecurity, and IT turn to for binge-worthy content. Use promo code SimplyCyber30 to get 30% off your first month or first year. 30% off is dope. If you are a veteran, my understanding is from Carrie, you get 60% off. So, dude, the content over there is ridiculously good. Go check it out at a minimum, but take advantage of these deals. All right, so thank you, ACI Learning, for sponsoring the Worldwide Wednesday segment. I'm going to set the timer to 2 minutes. Hold on one second. All right, 14 seconds until 2 minutes. Listen, every single Wednesday, I ask people in chat to tell me where they're at. We go around the world and see if we can touch every continent. Today is no different. Mods, I'm going to need your help. Please, mods, I know you guys are there. And we're off. Where are you at, people? Tell me where you're at. All right, Texas is in the house. Way to go, U.S. Love it, love it, love it. New York's in the house. Loco, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia. Wilmington's in here. The UK, Kenneth Ruff, my man. Yes, Michigan, love it. Portugal's in the house. Whoop, whoop. Oh, that's Ireland. Portugal, sorry. Doink. Oh, Portugal, there we go. Wisconsin, I love it, love it. Montana, Big Sky. Way to go, Big Apple. Delaware, representing. Ooh, the Peach State's in the house. Hey, Reggie, good to see you. Afghanistan, ooh yeah, oh God, where's Afghanistan? I don't know if that is, I don't know if that was James Driscoll. India's in the house. Manitoba, Canada, what's up? Love it. Jersey, Dirty Jers. Russia, woohoo! That's a new one, Yusef, welcome. Welcome to the Simply Cyber community. South Korea. Boom, baby. We are crushing it. Liechtenstein. Oh, you always trick me with the Liechtenstein. I know it's near Belgium, isn't it? Ah, Liechtenstein. I'll come back to Liechtenstein, I promise. Congo. We got Congo in the house. Va Beach. What up, Bangladesh? What up, Bangladesh? Oh, where's Bangladesh? I need an adult here. Barbados. Okay, I see Liechtenstein. South Korea, we got Greenland. Greenland? Are you serious, Jojo? Are you serious in Greenland? Antarctica? Okay, just kidding. That's funny. Barbados, I will get to Barbados. Chad, if you can, or mods, tell me where Barbados is. I know it's in the Caribbean somewhere. Australia. Boom, baby. All right, let's thank you, Funky Monk, for Australia. Let's go ahead and do a tally, a recount. Couple of things. Jojo. Well, hold on. Let's do this thing really quickly. Iraq was here. Barbados. Did we have South America? I cannot get Liechtenstein. I'm sorry, guys. Like, believe me, I know Liechtenstein's here. I just can't get you. I'm all thumbs. All right. Okay, so no on South America. All right, I don't see Barbados. Believe this. Barbados, I wish you were here. I wish I could find you. I did zoom in. Northwest of Germany. Yeah, see, I see Denmark. Netherlands. Are you guys seeing the pop-ups? Yeah. I when I zoom in, you don't see it. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I wish I could see Liechtenstein. Did we get Colombia? Hold on. Hold on. Did we get Colombia, or did I accidentally click on that? Did I? Oh my God. Singapore's in here. Love it. Gosh, I need an adult. I need an. Where the hell? Where is Singapore? I thought you were like down here. All right, we got to get to the news, guys. What a mess. What a mess this guy is. Hong Kong. I thought it was like right in here. All right, I'm sorry, guys. So maybe Josh might need to do the map next week. All right, guys. I need a definitive answer here. Did we get Colombia, or did I accidentally click that? Because it makes the difference between going around the world and not going around the world. Hong Kong is China. No, I know that. I was looking for Singapore. All right. We just need to run it back and make an announcement. All right. Thank you, BSEC. I get it. So BSEC is saying, let's move on. I get it. Okay, thanks everybody for playing around the world. We will get those scores tabulated and get back to you. But for now, sit back and relax and let an awesome wave of cyber news wash over you.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
It's Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. Bipartisan bill allows for U.S. ban of TikTok. On Tuesday, U.S. senators introduced bipartisan legislation called the Restrict Act that would give the Commerce Department the ability to ban foreign technology deemed a national security risk. NSA Director Paul Nakasone expressed concerns about TikTok collecting personal data of U.S. citizens and potentially carrying out influence operations. TikTok spokeswoman Brooke Oberwetter said that the Restrict Act was unneeded because the White House can simply approve the deal it has been negotiating with the company for over 2 years. She added, quote, "A ban on TikTok is a ban on the export of American culture and values to the billion-plus people who use our service worldwide," end quote.
Okay, so a couple things. One, I find that particular comment kind of laughable, all right? Now, this isn't a political show. I've said this many times, but I think they should ban it. That's fine, okay? Like I'm fine with that. I think that it is got ulterior motives, and I know it's very viral and people like it, but there's things wrong with it. Now, to say it's an export of American cultures and values, like, isn't that what we would do normally? Isn't like the idea that America's got it right from a societal perspective? Wouldn't we want to push our culture and values out to influence other countries and societies to behave more like us? Isn't that what we do when we go into other countries and help them be more democratic? I mean, so to me, I don't know if that is like a great explanation of why. However, I will say this, okay? Tinfoil hat, Jerry. The fact that it's bipartisan supported at a time when both sides of the U.S. government or political parties are very contentious with each other, it makes me believe that there is intelligence that is not for public consumption, but is for legislative consumption, right? So basically, secret information, classified information that senators have had access to that would demonstrate the risk, the national security implications, the grave concerns of what the use of TikTok is doing. That's the only thing I can think of where it's like an obvious no-brainer that we don't want that. I do find it. This is like some people, my first thought was like, oh, this is quite draconian. This is quite Big Brother, where it's like, it's just an app, right? And they're banning it. So like, like banning books, banning apps, banning, certain, ideologies, right? Okay. So it gets slippery, but I will say this, as a country, we have banned exports of certain technologies. We banned exporting of encryption algorithms before, right? Like famously, like I forget which one, maybe PGP was like written in a book and then shipped out as a way to circumvent the loophole of the law for exporting. So don't think that it's not like this is like brand new kind of stuff, right? It's not. I just find it interesting, and because they're making it a bill, not exclusively for banning TikTok, but for they call it the Restrict Act, and they're banning technology deemed a risk to national security. Okay, that right there. Be mindful of this. Like I could see this being a pretty big club to club different things with, right? I'm not saying that the United States is going to do this. This would not really align with the United States, and obviously, anytime they ban a technology, it would make big news. But now there's a stick, right? And if you don't play well, you could get the stick, right? Oh, like you. I'm not saying they're going to ban Netflix, for example, but my point is they have the mechanism now to ban a technology, right? So interesting. Look for this to go, then look for TikTok to get banned. One interesting thing that I would like to see, or I'm going to be interested, like I don't have an emote for this, but hold on. I do feel that this is appropriate, and I wish that we ran the Discord for chat. Okay. One interesting thing that I am looking forward to see is when they ban this, what is the public reaction going to be? Because I don't hear anybody complaining about like the potential ban of TikTok. Like 18 to 22-year-olds are all up in TikTok. My kid is 10 and he's like, Dad, can I get a phone and get TikTok? I'm like, no. He's like, come on, Dad, TikTok. I'm like, no, bro. So when the people who are not paying attention to what's happening at a legislative perspective find out that the app is ripped off their device, then what is going to be the reaction? It's going to be really interesting to watch the public outrage when this thing goes through, assuming it goes through.
EU concerned with Twitter's content.
Actually, interestingly enough, maybe it'll have a deep impact for our youth to get more involved in politics and what's going on at the decision maker level in the United States. Just a thought.
Moderation plans. The Digital Services Act is a landmark legislation from the European Union that will force big tech groups to aggressively police illegal content. Major platforms, including Twitter, will have to be fully compliant by September of this year. While Elon Musk indicated that Twitter intends to fully comply with the DSA, sources say that the EU has expressed concerns related to Twitter's plan to use more volunteers and artificial intelligence to help moderate the social media platform. The European Commission stated that they expect platforms to ensure they have the appropriate resources to moderate content.
All right. So really quickly, I see a lot of chat in here. Aaron KG brought up a really good point and interesting. I see a lot of great thoughts, guys, around this TikTok thing. Aaron made the point that it's like the kids are going to lose their mind because they're going to lose their dopamine hit. Then he compared it to alcohol. Guys, we banned alcohol in like the 20s during Prohibition. How'd that work out? There were bootleggers. There, like an entire industry cropped up. Certain, didn't like the Kennedys make their wealth off of bootlegging? Like there will be, you're not going to have bootleg TikToks. You're not going to have speakeasy TikToks where like you knock on a door, a secret passage opens, and then there's like 18-year-olds or 15-year-olds in there like doing like booty dances or whatever the new trend is. But my point is, it's not going to just be public outrage. There is going to we have precedent set. Okay, EU's telling Elon Musk to hire more staff to moderate Twitter. Okay. So when I first read this, I said, who is the European Union to indicate to a private company how much staff they're supposed to have to moderate Twitter? That seems like a bit of a overreach of government into private sector, right? Very, what's the word? What is it? Oh God, I can't even think of like what ism it is, whether it's like communism or socialism or Marxism, one of those. It just seems like a very like big reach. But Elon said he's going to comply with it, so there must have been some laws on the books about what they're doing. Interesting thing here, the title says hire more staff, but what Elon said is we're going to add AI. So more of this AI replacing humans kind of thing. Now, AI, if it's trained on the right model, can actually probably moderate Twitter a lot faster, a lot more accurately than a human group would. However, if the model isn't trained well, or if the model is manipulated in such a way, it will allow certain things and not allow others. Really quickly, all right? Remember, it came out that Twitter was there was like a whole thing around the laptop, right? I don't even want to say it because I don't want to get flagged, but like there was a whole thing about what we're focusing on and what Twitter suppressed amplification on. Like there's an entire congressional oversight committee right now looking at these things, okay? So humans were told by the leadership at Twitter pre-Elon, like suppress these things, ignore like these requests for suppression, etc. Right? Like I'm trying to be very vague here, but like certain posts and types of posts were allowed to amplify, and certain types of posts were being squashed down. And this was at the behest of the Twitter leadership. All right. And it came out, and a bunch of people who worked at Twitter who were doing the suppressing testified into Congress. If you have AI do it,
shall we play a game?
You know what you can't do? You can't call Joshua to a congressional oversight committee to speak on what happened, right? You can't. I mean, maybe you could call the developers in, but you're getting further away from the actual activity of moderating tweets on Twitter. So if you move a technology into doing it, you can discreetly or clandestinely influence the machine learning algorithms that it is trained on to be more aligned with whatever political views, whatever ideological views of the company, or in this case, Elon. You feel me? So something to be mindful of. Not you, Josh. That's funny.
Emotet malware returns after a 3-month hiatus.
Oh boy, not good.
As of Tuesday morning, the Emotet malware operation again began spamming malicious emails worldwide after a 3-month break. Emotet is distributed via emails containing malicious Microsoft Word and Excel document attachments. When users open the documents with macros enabled, the Emotet DLL will be downloaded and loaded into memory. The malware then quietly waits for instructions from a remote command and control server. The malware ultimately steals victim email and contacts, or downloads other malware such as Cobalt Strike, commonly used in ransomware attacks.
All right. Guys, not good. Not good. This is an all hands on deck kind of thing. All right, guys. It doesn't matter what level you are. There was some story on Monday. I think it was like malicious OneNote documents, kind of circumventing macros. You can include that, but this should be a priority for you. Emotet has had multiple campaigns. I was very fortunate to watch the keynote speaker at B-Sides Charleston 2022 this year. Was an FBI agent, and she spoke about how they took down Emotet in a coordinated, like multi-country Europol, US FBI raid. But guys, Emotet is incredibly complex, incredibly resilient. The brain trust behind the Emotet malware campaign are very smart. They also pair nicely, like a fava bean and a nice Chianti. Emotet pairs quite nicely as an initial infection to bring down second stage payloads. They bring down Cobalt Strike as a second stage payload exploitation framework, but the famous one was like Emotet would bring down TrickBot, which was more of an info stealer, and then TrickBot would be followed by Ryuk, which is a ransomware. So they would get in, purge it of all the value, and then drop ransomware and move on to the next one. Emotet's nasty business. It is delivered through spear phishing and phishing campaigns, so make sure that your web email gateways are configured appropriately. Educate your end users. It says it came around 7 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know which day that was, though. It says volumes are low, but they might just, guys, they're very advanced, sophisticated threat actor group. They may just be tuning their tooling to make sure that everything's going to work right. So when they like release the hounds, it's going to be able to go. Yeah, Emotet is going to go full Super Saiyan. So, they've got some examples in here of Emotet phishing emails. Really educate your end users on being mindful of attachments, being mindful of this type of social engineering technique of enabling content. I don't even know if this would actually work, right? If you've like nerfed macros in your environment. Serious business, guys. You do not want to be dealing with Emotet. Also, if you want to take it to the next level, right, be very careful with this. But if you wanted to take it to the next level, you could download some of these new Emotets from Digital Underground, Tupac, from oh my God, Underground VX. What is the is it Underground VX Underground? Yeah, VX Underground, Malware Bazaar, or Digital Underground if you really want to get spicy. And then detonate one in a controlled lab environment to see if your technologies are going to detect and prevent Emotet, or if not. By the way, you may also want to do it. That way you can show to your business that there's a major issue about to happen and that your current defense technologies do not catch it. You got to be careful, though, because if you start doing a tech demo for the business side of the house, you might lose their interest if you don't make it a very compelling story as to what you're showing them.
Acer confirms repair technician server was hacked. Taiwanese computer maker Acer has confirmed a breach of one of its document servers containing technician documents. The statement comes after someone on a hacker forum claimed to be selling 160 gigabytes of Acer data containing confidential presentations, manuals, binaries, mobile device info, and digital product keys. The company said there is no indication that any consumer data was stored on the affected server. And
all right, hold on. All right, so someone offered 160 gigs of data for sale on Acer. I don't know if this is legit. I don't see like the little anime sprite avatar over here on the corner. I'm being playful. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just stay with us a couple shows and you'll see it. All right, $50 million ransom. Okay, so basically a technician group got breached and no consumer data was stolen. Okay. The only thing I could think of risk here, this isn't really a great cybersecurity story. Like, okay, if I breached a technician workstation, maybe I could implant malware on machines coming in for repairs. Maybe I could steal credit card information. Not really super interesting, right? I don't think that, Fortune 500 companies or sensitive government facilities or anything like that are using repair technicians that are affiliated with Acer, right? Like they'd either have in-house or they would just get new tech. So I think the concern here is pretty low. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if it's coming up in the story, but like Minnesota schools getting hacked by Medusa is probably a much bigger story than this, but just be mindful, guys. You don't have to be a Fortune 500 company. You could be a repair technician group over here and get hacked. Acer says server for... Oh, so actually, you know what? Let me get a little bit crazier here. If this is hosted by Acer and they make it available to repair technicians, then yes, you could actually plant malware there, and then the repair technicians just happily download it because they think Acer provided it, and then they're installing it on people's machines automatically, and then when the machines boot up, they reach out to whoever the hackers were and say, "Hey, we own you. We got this. What else you want?" So be mindful of that. Okay, it's. I guess to me, I missed it for a second, but like this is kind of an uncommon attack vector. It's kind of like a really complicated, like watering hole attack ish, where the malware is put on the Acer server and the repair technicians implicitly trust what they're downloading. So there's that. Let's do the mid-roll.
Now, a word from our sponsor, Packet Labs. Looking for the right cybersecurity service provider can be a daunting task. How do you know if they're trustworthy and reliable? Packet Labs has made
Absolutely,
it easier for
Eric.
you with our free
Absolutely a
penetration
supply
tested
chain
buyer's
risk.
guide. We've compiled a list of the top 20 questions you should ask potential providers to ensure you make an informed decision. Download the guide today at ciso.packetlabs.net.
Yeah, supply chain risk. BSEC mentioned SolarWinds type thing. Yeah, it could be. So I give it a little bit more latitude. Again, I'm shooting from the hip on a train bound for glory up here. So sometimes, you know, all the things don't fire. I'll take another slug off my coffee before we do the mid-roll music. All right, let's do it. Hey. All right, guys, if you're getting educational value, if you're getting entertainment value, if you're a regular of the Simply Cyber community, do a favor, hit that like button. Thanks, William Welch, for sharing that with everybody. Takes only a second of your time, but it goes a long way to helping the channel get discovered by other cybersecurity and aspiring cybersecurity professionals. So please take a minute. Thank you, Barricade Cyber Solutions and Panoptcy, for hosting the stream. Genuinely appreciate your support. Allows me to keep it free to everybody, and that's the best. Thank you to all of you. We are going to get into the Simply Cyber Community Challenge, but I would love to point out that I am seeing massive growth already from the Simply Cyber Community Challenge, and I'm seeing all the conversations happening and all the engagement, and I'm very, very excited and just proud of what it's turning into. It's exactly turning into what I hoped it would. And again, thanks Chuck Sapp for seeding the idea. Very, very, very awesome. All right, guys, if you want an email from me every Monday, I spoke to someone just yesterday who told me it's awesome. He integrates it into his work, and he's actually getting a new job promotion pretty soon, and it's going to be even more valuable. So hit !newsletter, sign up. If you don't like it, you can unsign up. Totally fine. Holla, holla, holla. It is the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Now, we have forked the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. So first, I want to tell you what the Simply Cyber Community Challenge is. Every day, we tag somebody in chat, Team Live and Team Replay, so we do it twice. The Simply Cyber Community Challenge, if you get tagged, go out to LinkedIn, post on LinkedIn, tag me in the post, at Gerald Dozier, tag, or add hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Share what it is about the community you love. Share your story. Let us know who you are. For everybody else who didn't get tagged, reach out onto that post. Connect with whoever posted. Connect with who was ever in the comments, because they are interested in networking and they're part of this community. And even if they're not part of this community, they're going to find out about it and come join us. It is an awesome initiative. It is really taking hold. Jordan Turney, I saw him message. Oh, he just got on the platform. He had like 23 connections. Now he's like bumping up around 300-400, and they're meaningful connections. It's not a, click farm or whatever it is where you're like, oh, I got 1,000 connections. Like, and I know 0 of them. I talked to none of them. I don't even know if they're in cyber. No. These are all meaningful connections. Jenny Housley currently has the baton. Jenny, please tag. Oh, I did not know that Estella's 4th grade watches. That's awesome, Estella. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad I keep it clean up in here for the most part. All right. So, Jenny Housley, where are you at? I would like to select Marcus Seiler. Boom, baby. No. That's the wrong button. All right. Marcus Seiler, please take up the mantle. Please post on LinkedIn. I will say Team Replay. Estella has tagged Allison Brent. Allison Brent, if you are in Team Replay, you don't have to be here right now. Mervin Montalban with the 5 squad membership. Thank you. Get those. Bill Eck, Miss Mary, Alex S., Sidney Patton, grabbing up those. And Ryan, the 5th member. Take advantage of those squad membership emotes. Thank you so much for the support, y'all. Allison Brent, you are tagged. And I know you're probably on Team Replay. So I'm adding it here. If you are on Team Replay and you want to be part of the Team Replay fork of the Simply Cyber Community Challenge, go to the Discord, !Discord and chat, discord.gg/simplycyber. Join this Discord and go to the Simply Cyber Community Challenge channel under Simply Cyber and drop your name in there. That's what we're doing all up in here. Thank you all so very much. We got 15 seconds left on the song. It's all good. All right, let's get back in, and then we'll jaw jack at the end. Plus, I've got some great news for the end of the show. Stay tuned.
Toyota search tool exposed customer data. Late last year, a researcher discovered a production API in Toyota's C360 CRM tool exposing personal information of customers in Mexico. A threat hunter discovered that they could modify Angular JavaScript code in the application's development environment to bypass authentication. He then located exposed API endpoints that did not require an authentication token and returned customer names, phone numbers, IDs, and email addresses if a well-formed request was sent. Upon receiving the disclosure, Toyota took its sites offline and secured the APIs by requiring an authentication token.
All right. So this is complicated. However, there's a lot of lessons learned here, okay? InfoSec people, I would strongly encourage you either bookmark this one or add it to your notes if you keep notes. I know you Obsidian people. You Obsidian people, just like you VI people, you keep your notes a certain way. But like, guys, this is a good one, and I'll tell you why, all right? This has nothing to do with like vulnerabilities or anything. This has to do with proper configuration management and proper permissions, okay? So here's the deal. Normal system development life cycles, right? If you're doing any software or anything, there's usually 3 environments. Dev, where you develop code. Test, where you test code. Production, and that's where like, you know, me, you, and Carl use the system, right? You only promote from dev to test. You would never promote dev to prod, okay? And the reason is it's like gates. You go through gates, okay? And some developers are like, oh my God, why do I have to go through these gates? I know what I'm doing, move. Well, there's reasons we do that. It's for protection, okay? In this instance, Toyota had 3 dev environments, probably because they had a big development team working on different things. 3 dev environments, 1 test, 1 prod. Here's the deal. The API calls, the application programming interface, the hook-ins that allow developers to easily access different data stores in a consistent fashion, right? Those API calls were protected in the prod environment. You would need a key to get to it. But in the other environments, the key was not needed. Now, you could make the argument, well, no one's going to get through prod to these back-end environments, so we don't need the keys. Also, I guarantee you, okay? And when I say guarantee, 99.99%, and give me a tinfoil hat emote if you would, I guarantee you that the developers were annoyed in the dev and test environments of having to use keys because, especially the dev environment, because they're like, oh, we're developing and like my key keeps expiring, or like, it's just annoying. Like, let me just work and not have to keep reissuing keys and deal with key management, all these keys. InfoSec nerds, your job is to protect the production environment. Keep the bad guys out there. We'll do our testing here. And like most people are going to be like, all right, like it's a good point. The dev environment is just for the developers to play around and do stuff. Okay, so you don't put that control in place. Now, it should have been in test environment because test is supposed to be an exact duplicate of production. That's another fun fact. In this case, it wasn't, but whatever. So the problem is if dev ever gets exposed in any way externally, you've lost that entire control. The entire control of the keys. The API key is a control. It's preventing access without permission. This is access control 101. Okay? So threat actors were able to circumvent prod and get in behind it somehow and then see the dev environment. And guys, it's like, you know, like cue that song, It's a Beautiful Morning, right? Like once you see that, you're like, all right, baby, let's just hammer all the APIs and pull out all the data. So it's not good. It's not good for business. And again, my point is you would normally protect this, and it's a completely reasonable understanding why the API keys were not required in the dev environment. But getting back to my original point of flagging this one for yourself, this is an opportunity to demonstrate a real use case where that behavior, that risk acceptance resulted in a compromise. Okay? It depends. How important is your data, right? Like this is where real risk management comes up. You could put all the controls in place. You could put all the policies in documentation. When it comes time to have an unpopular opinion or an unpopular decision, like we need to use API keys in the in the dev environment, what is management going to say? Ah, come on. Don't be ridiculous. Go for it. Okay, so what you're telling me is that's an acceptable risk. You're okay with that. You're okay with being Toyota. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Or are you going to say, yes, we have to do that, right? Like I said, man, 80% of the time, the business is going to agree with you on what is right and what is wrong. It's that fringe 20% when you say, we cannot use any cloud system that does not allow federated authentication. And whoever's in charge of like the European market business unit is like, I really want to use this platform. I really like it. I used it at my last job. If I had a nickel for every time I heard I used it at my last job and it's what we want to use here without any regard for like, is it appropriate to our tech stack? Does it make sense for what we're doing? I would be filthy rich because I hear it all the time. All right. Okay. All right. Enough. All right.
Excel now blocks untrusted XLL add-ins. Microsoft says that Excel is now blocking untrusted XLL add-ins by default. Excel XLL files are dynamic link libraries used to expand the functionality of Microsoft Excel, but attackers commonly use XLL add-ins to push malicious payloads via phishing campaigns. The new feature will generally be available in multi-tenants worldwide by late March after Microsoft rolls it out to all desktop users in the current monthly enterprise and semi-annual enterprise channels.
All right. I did a story for this on Lima Charlie's Cyber Defender podcast not too long ago. Basically, the TLDR here is because you don't need to get into the technical nuances of this if you don't want to. I mean, obviously, if you love the tech, you can get into it. But essentially, Microsoft blocks macros on Office documents, right? We all agree. We all know that. Okay. XLLs are basically like DLLs, okay? DLLs are dynamic link libraries. DLLs are the same as EXEs, except you can't like double click them and run. They're just a set of software that other executables can borrow from, okay? That's why they're called libraries. All right. That way, every executable, every .exe file doesn't have to have every library in it. Every exe file would be wicked bloated if that was the case. Instead, they have a little bit, and then they know about existing DLLs on a machine that they can reach out and use. That's why sometimes you'll get an error saying like DLL not found, and the whole thing takes a crap. That's because it's trying to call a function that it does not have inside of it, and it's reaching out to a DLL. Also, this is why hooking a DLL, or basically replacing it with a malicious DLL is so effective because the the executable, the exe file, notepad.exe, calc.exe, is reaching out to that DLL. It doesn't know it's a different DLL unless it's looking for certification and stuff like that. But my point is that's DLL. XLLs are the same functionally to these Excel documents. So the Excel file's got some activity going on, and then there's a shared library that is written for Excel that it can leverage. I don't really know who's using these XLLs. I know a couple weeks ago was the first time I'd even heard about it, but Microsoft is blocking it from untrusted sources. So Microsoft obviously has their own internal ones that they like or trusted partners that they like, but this is a great move by Microsoft. And by the way, if you saw my my YouTube short or my Instagram reel or whatever, where I flipped out about when Jen Easterly over at CISA directed businesses to stop shipping technology that's unsecure by default. And I'm like, just make it, you have to configure it in order to use it securely, okay? This is the same thing. Microsoft is saying untrusted, we're not going to allow you to do it. So this is a great move. I fully support this. The only thing I would point out is, and this is just like a little bit more like, you know, the few times we get to use our Snake Eyes G.I. Joe emote squad members, the more you know. Just because of this, that does not mean that threat actors cannot abuse this. It takes an extra level of effort, and you need to be a little bit more sophisticated. But we just recently heard in a story about 2 months ago of threat actors that had gotten into Microsoft's ecosystem and had been validated as trusted partners. If those threat actors had written XLL code, it would be implicitly trusted and it would be able to run in your environment. So there are ways to attack this, but it just, like everything else, guys, it just raises the bar, makes it a little bit more difficult, keeps the script kiddie chaff out of the way, and, you know, it's good for us, all right? Yes, the more you know.
FBI and Pentagon research facial recognition for cameras and drones. Documents revealed as part of a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit filed against the FBI detail its involvement in Project Janus, which aimed to dramatically improve facial recognition systems. These systems were used in street cameras and drones and could identify targets more than a half a mile away. While the project officially ended in 2020, its work was folded into other systems. The lack of transparency about how the government uses facial recognition has raised concerns about potential misuse. 3 states have banned facial recognition, but there are currently no federal laws regulating its use. A senator from Massachusetts said Tuesday they intend to push for a bill restricting how federal agencies can use facial recognition and biometric search techniques. The FBI said it is, quote, committed to responsible use of facial recognition technology, ensuring it appropriately respects individuals' privacies and civil liberties, end quote.
We're running over time. I apologize to NCC Group and Base Case because I lost my mind on 2 different stories. This is not surprising. This is also sickening. We just covered a story yesterday of Secret Service and ICE agents regularly abusing their access to stingrays to intercept communications on mobile devices. And the OIG gave them a stern finger wag and a nice slap on the wrist and told them, don't do that again. What, are you kidding me? This is like authoritative regime level stuff. And I know the use case I completely get on board with, okay? Dude, I'm from Massachusetts. The marathon bombings a couple years ago, they found the bombers and it took a few days. But if they had this type of technology, they could have probably found them in a few hours, okay? So I get the use case of this. Missing children, you can find them quickly. I get it. But the opportunity for abuse and stalking and identifying enemies of the state, identifying people with dissenting opinion of whoever the in control regime is at this time, identifying people that hey, guess what? Say you're for or against Roe versus Wade, right? Stick one of these outside of a Planned Parenthood facility and track who's ever going in, boom, and then follow them and see who they engage with, right? This is a hyperbolic example, but my point is the technology has so much potential to do good, but it is unbelievably difficult to manage this in any meaningful way. And I would love, I'll go back because we're late on time. I would love anyone who's in the UK. I know at least somebody, I think Kenneth Ruff is from the UK. The UK has had closed circuit TV, facial recognition cameras. I know they've got the cameras. I don't know. It's facial recognition all over the place in London. So I'd be curious how this is going to go. But something like this needs massive oversight and public transparency. That is a must. If this thing, dude, they did it for years. Oh my God. All these dystopian, sci-fi TV shows, this really, really is something, man. This is scary. I don't like it.
Cybersecurity leaders are stressed about email security.
I'm sorry. Hold on. What, let's put it a step forward and let's say Joshua gets involved.
Shall we play a game?
Okay, hey, here's a ton of facial recognition stuff. Run ML algorithms on this to identify people who potentially could be dangerous to society. Minority Report style, right? Now let's pull them out. I mean, just again, when we're in civil times and it's not a problem, that's fine. But think of just think of the internment camps in World War II, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and how the Japanese citizens of San Francisco were treated. This is a problem.
According to the 2023 Email Security Risk Report from Egress, 91% of cybersecurity leaders said that company data has been leaked externally by email. The top 3 causes for the leaks were reckless employee behavior, human error, and intentional data exfiltration. 48% of the leaks resulted in employees exiting the organization, and 49% suffered financial losses due to customer churn. The report also revealed that 86% of surveyed organizations were impacted by phishing emails, with 85% reporting that such attacks resulted in successful account takeover. 40% of phishing email incidents resulted in employees exiting the organization. Finally, over 95% of cybersecurity leaders are frustrated with the limited effectiveness of both their secure email gateway and security awareness and training programs. The report ultimately highlights that advanced email security is a necessity for everyday business.
All right, this is great information. Again, I'm doing a talk in April. It's going to involve business email compromise. But I love hard statistics. This is good stuff. You should definitely flag this story if you have to do end user awareness training or make demonstrate need for investment in email gateway. You should absolutely be using a secure email gateway. If you're not, you might as well be running backwards through a cornfield sans pants, because you are flirting with disaster if you're not running a secure email gateway. I mean, these people are running it and they're still getting popped, right? This stinks. 40% of incidents involve someone getting fired, basically. That's what this says in the most polite way ever. 86% of organizations negatively impact, so that's not a surprise. Email is like a major attack vector. Guys, Emotet's popping. Phishing is right there. Account takeovers with a phishing email, so giving up creds. You've got to not do password reuse. Like, come on, man. Can't be doing password reuse. You got to be doing permissions, privileged access management, multi-factor authentication, please. Like, we're not reinventing the wheel here. I'm not talking about, futuristic, quantum computing security controls. I'm talking about basic blocking and tackling. Just whatever. Like, we're over time, so go check this out, and it's good. It's good. Email, man, it's definitely critically important. You got to educate your end users. And by the way, if you're educating your end users, not only do you have to use the right communication method, hey, Gen Z, I see you. I'll text you about it later. But you need to be able to communicate the same issue, risk of phishing attacks, do it in different ways. If you just continue to repeat the same messaging with the same kind of thing, yeah, it's easier on you. But it's going to start to resonate on deaf ears, because they're like, oh yeah, I already saw this. Right? No. You got to come at it with oh, hey, your bank account's going to get taken over, or hey, your phone could get pwned, or hey, you could screw the whole organization over, or loose lips sink ships, or don't click on that, or careful who you trust, or free Yeti cooler, right? I just got something about pickleball yesterday that was clearly a phishing email. I don't know if you guys are getting the pickleball fish, but my point is, you got to mix it up, keep it interesting. You've got to keep the end user engaged, right? It's just like YouTube, right? You got to have a great hook. Here's the final thing, okay? When you're sending messages out to your org, the subject line of your email, that's got to be the hook. It's got to compel them to want to read the email. Then couple sentences, nothing long. No one wants to consume more than 280 characters at this point in life. And you got to have some type of visual, or else you might as well have fired it into the trash can instead of sent it to your organization. Okay? All right. And spoiler alert, I actually just submitted a proposal for my consulting business. I think I'm going to start developing information security awareness modules, not like KnowBe4 where it's like massive and all this, but like bespoke, catered, high impact, like library of information security awareness trainings that you can just like grab and fire. Like basically, I'm going to be offering like a turnkey information security awareness solution that's way more effective. Although that's a qualified statement. I don't have the metrics to support it, but holla. Okay, so check this out. I've got some fun news for you. If you are available in 5 minutes, I've got a new video dropping. Super excited about this one. Why work in cyber? Literally, this is not exaggerating. While I was watching, it's the top 10 reasons I think you should work in cyber. So all of you in chat, you obviously work in cyber, or you're already all frothed up about working in cyber. You're like, give me the cybers. I want the cybers. But maybe someone's like new to tech, they're flirting with cyber, they're cyber curious, I don't know. Maybe you're like in marketing and you're like, what's this cyber thing I'm hearing everybody talk about? This is going to outline the 10 reasons you should. And I'm telling you, by like reason 7, you're just like dabbing your brow and you're like, oh my God, I do declare I have the vapors. Because there's so much going on in this video. I'm like super excited about this particular one. I love all the videos I push out, or I wouldn't push them out. But this one's really cool, so I hope you can stay with me. I'll drop a link in chat. It's going to pop in 3 minutes. Here's a link in chat. So until that pops up, we can jaw jack. If you were here just for the news, thank you so very much. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Be good. I hope you got value. Hit the like button on the way out. Josh Mason's asking who's doing the images. I give you a hint, Josh. 2 thumbs and all smiles. This guy. All right. All right. I can jaw jack until this comes on. Who wants to talk? Have the streams been dropping on the podcast side? Yeah, so Mervin asks about the podcast. Guys, here's the thing. If you go to... I have a terrible answer for you, okay? Here's the terrible answer. Simply Cyber, the news briefings are posted to the... right after the show ends, they're posted to a podcast so you can listen on your audio app of choice. The Simply Cyber community member who does this for me delivered a baby just after February 24th. So she's on like effectively maternity leave. I don't have bandwidth. There's so many things I wish I could do I don't have time for. So when she gets back, she'll probably pick it up, I hope. But yeah, so that's why that hasn't been popping. You know, I love the Simply Cyber podcast. I do try to do it, but it's a courtesy I do to the community, right? I don't charge for it. It's not monetized, none of that stuff. And it's just I can't manage it myself. All right. All right. What did Fabio do? Hold on. Fabio did something? Let me see. Where's Fabio? Fabio with the Sec Plus. Yes, Fabio. Well done. Well done. Gerald, your work in cyber is deeply appreciated. Oh, thank you very much, Avinash. Oh, boy. And hey, I set it up so like when this stream ends, you should be pushed over to this video. That's something I set up. Thank you, Sydney Patton. I tried to write a script, James Randolph. I couldn't do it. If you want to take a run at it, holla. I'd love it. What was the news, Jerry? I'm not sure. Internal Stranger. Have a wonderful day ahead, everyone. Thanks, Asha. Thanks so much, Asha. Hey, Internal Stranger, if you can be a little bit more specific, I'm not sure what you're asking about. Oh, Fabio's taking the Sec Plus. Well, you got it, Fabio. You got to nail it. Bye, Mervin. Be good. Hey, Nate. Dan Catledge. Nice job, Nate M. Jenny Housley, thank you so much for the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. All right. I think the news was the video coming up. Oh, yeah. Like right here, Internal Stranger. Sick video. I'm going to be doing the... We're doing a premiere, so go over there and we can chat. Oh, yeah, BSEC. I think it was this video dropping because I scheduled it yesterday to drop today. So, like, I hadn't really been promoting this. It's starting. Also, I just want to remind everybody, tomorrow, on Thursday, we are going to have Mike DiNapoli with Simulate. We're going to be talking cyber attack path management. Folds nicely into... attack surface management that I covered, or attack surface configuration at Advent of Cyber. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I'll see you over at the premiere. Please join us. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I hope you are too. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Until the next time, stay secure.